Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my garage. I was going to be doing a Motortown video today, but if you're on the Discord, you'll know about the issues I'm having today. So I've decided we'll do this game instead because with the keyboard I've currently got, I can actually play this game, and we're going to be working more on the BMW again today. And I was thinking about it between episodes, the Neve. The Lada Niva, that might get fixed up to a point, rust and paint, and then sold to fund more work to be done on the BMW. But before that, if you look in the top left hand part of the screen, you'll see we are hungry and thirsty. So let's head into the gas station here, buy 3 cornflakes, 3 waters, and let's fill those meters back up. Oops, throw the water away while I'm here. And that's us ready to start the day. So today, the front of the BMW fell off between episodes, but that's fine. We're going to lift the back of the BMW up here. You really should jack it up to do this, but you don't have to. As you can see, I can kind of just squeeze in with these axle stands and the car will just magically appear on axle stands. But I only want the back lifted for now, because I want to take off the parts that are ruined on the back here. Starting with this shock absorber, just let it explode off, and then what's left of this subframe can come off as well, or the rear subframe that is. And it will just drop down there, and let's put the spanner nearly back. And these parts, we can take them across there and sell them, but these are that broken, I'm not going to do that. I am just going to recycle them in the trash can. Like so. And the reason I'm doing this is because today I'd like to get these, among other parts, put on the back of the car. So let's start with this rear subframe, nice new shiny rear subframe. And let's crawl under here and get some rear suspension put on this car. I did notice these parts here don't look the best, but I'm not sure. I think that's part of the seat that's just poking through the car there. That's the wrong button. Let's take these hub carriers. Don't even know if I can put these on just yet. It would appear that I can't. There is no tick popping up anywhere. That's fine. I know I can put this rear diff on. This is just a 3.8 diff, sort of like the standard diff that would come. There is other diff options available. But a couple of bolts in the back of that there. I think that's all that takes. That's all I can see it takes anyway. Oh wait, no, there's a couple of bolts up the top here hidden. Or at least one bolt hidden. Doesn't appear to be one on the other side. Yeah, nothing on that side. That's absolutely fine. Let's go on with some shock absorbers now. I can only tighten these up the top for now because there is nothing on the bottom to attach them to. Now the pile of parts I have there is not them all. Those are just the ones that I knew I needed. So looking back into here, I'm going to need 2 half axles, 2 rear hubs. Where are we? Don't need any of that. Shock absorber front we don't need. Don't need any of the steering columns. I think we need upper control arms on the back, I think. I'll get one and see, if not we'll use it on the front. But let's start with, I think we can put these on now. These should just plug in like so. And there's about 1 million bolts all the way around here. think that was them all. Hopefully it was them all anyway. We'll come back to that. Get this one on next. I think there's 6 bolts on these on the inside. And then, of course, we can come and have a look at these things. Upper control arm, let's give this a shot and see if this actually goes in here anywhere. It does indeed. So we are going to need another one of these. Where does that bolt come through? It's so hard to see. Right there, inside that subframe mount. So we'll grab another one of those. Get this put on the other side. Just like so, and that one's a little bit easier to see because the bolts don't reverse. So let's go for this one next. Can indeed put this on, which means we've got quite a few things to tighten up here. Starting with the shock absorber. Nothing to tighten up there, surprisingly. But we should have the upper control arm to tighten up just there. And nothing to tighten up here, which is absolutely fine. Let's do the same on this side. Those 2 bolts on there. Let's get these rear hubs put in place. These are nice and easy. One big bolt, and that is the rest of the drive shaft then installed. The springs take a different tool. We can't just force the springs into place with the spanner. That's not how that works at all. So for now, let's put the spanner away and get the spring compressor, because we need this to put the springs in. We don't do anything interesting with it. We just have to be holding it. And it should go in here somewhere. There, right there, in fact. And then this one as well. Right there. Nice and easy. Now with that being done, let's have a look at the braking system. So if we click onto the brakes tab, we're going to need a handbrake cable. We're going to need both rear calipers. We're going to need 2 rear discs, 2 brake lines, and a box of rear brake pads. But we'll start with these brake discs. They just sit on over the top there, and we need to tighten them up with the screwdriver. Just like so. Time for the other one. It doesn't look like there's any brake lines on this car. No, there isn't. That's absolutely fine. So let's stick that back for now, and let's drop these 4 pads out here. I like to do this just on the floor before we go over. And just sit the pads in place. When they're in the right place, they will click into place as such. Just like so. And we'll get rid of this, just in the essence of keeping things tidy. Just poke it through the wall there. And before we go any further, let's grab a main brake line. And we'll get a brake master cylinder as well, because we know that needs changed. But let's get these brake calipers put into place. I didn't look to see what one was what there, so we'll try both sides. These require the spanner. If we tuck down in here, there's 2 bolts on each. Sort of as you'd expect, nothing too crazy with how the cars get built up. And let's go for the handbrake cable now. And you just want to put that somewhere in the middle of the car. And then this is where things get a little bit awkward on these. It might be a case of we have to poke our head through and maybe just guess. Kinda see it coming through. Is that it there? No, that's not it. That's we're way too far forward. That's what that problem is. Quite awkward to see. Be easier to see if we didn't have everything on the car already. Right there. Just that little flash of green there is what we're looking for. And this gets done on this side as well. So we'll try get that little bit of green. Can actually see this bolt a little bit better here. There we are, and that is the handbrake installed. Now let's switch to loosening. Open the door up. We need to pop our head into the dashboard area here. And these two bolts at the back here, to take those off. Which will pop this off, which does have brake fluid in it, but we're not going to use that. We are just going to recycle that. Get a tiny little bit of money back. Not worth talking about getting the money back at all, really. And we'll install the new one, which does not have brake fluid in it. We will need to get brake fluid for it. The other way you can do this is you can just pop your head through the side of the car. There's one of them. And there's the other. Now, brake lines, if you're doing all of the brake lines, you've got 5 bolts to tighten up. We are not doing all of the brake lines. We are only going to tighten up 3 of these. So we're only working on the rear today. So the first one is under the master cylinder there. And then we've got one, well, we need the flexible brake lines as well. And these go on each caliper. As you can see right there. And we want to tighten these up on both sides. And this one as well. Just like so. Now with that, we're actually ready to go and get alloys for this car, or wheels of some description. Now this is what the standard wheels look like. They are 5-stud steel wheels with what looks like standard sidewall. I'm not entirely sure of the size of them. They look like 16s. The only way to really tell is to do the unthinkable and pull it off while it's still sitting on it. Which, never ever ever do this to your own car. Because as you can see, it's not good for it. It is indeed a 16-inch rim. We're not going to put that on the car, even though that rim does look good. We're not going to use this, and I think we'll upgrade from the hubcaps as well. So we're going to go and buy, we'll probably buy all 4 if we can swing it financially. But if not, we will just get the rears for now. But I'm going to go for alloys over steel wheels, I believe. And this is all the choices we have here.
Being a stone clerk, it's a pain, but at least I get to meet nice people, like you, for example.
Now we've got plenty of options. There's a 16 that we could use. Not a big fan of that style. They're all 4-stud. But that one is 5-stud, but they're 17s, and I do like these. Let's get 2 of them. So they're 17s, which means we need to get some 17-inch tires, which I'm just going to go for the standard size sidewall for these. Now doing wheels and tires is so easy in this game. It is a couple of step process, but it is very easy. So I have the enhanced backpack mod, which allows me to pick these things up, which makes life a million times better. And without that, this is not enjoyable at all. What you do is you take your rim, stick it on the tire machine, take your tire, stick it on the rim, push one of the foot pedals. That is one tire on a rim. Easy as that. Of course, we've got two that need done, so we'll get both of them done, and then we'll stick them on the car. Like so. Let's grab the spanner to get those tightened up. Just like so. Now, before we do anything else, does this car even have a handbrake in it? It does not, but it doesn't have front wheels, so that's fine. Let's take these axle stands away. We will need them again at some point, but for today, we don't. As you can see, the car's sitting very funny, clipping into the ground, because the tires are flat, like very, very, very flat. So let's grab the air pump and put some air in them. I'll start to pump up any second. There we go. And that is actually a really good fitment as well. There we are. Let's get the door and the boot shut. Let's put this away somewhere. This can actually sit on the shelf. I might use it in the future as a sort of like a dolly wheel. But let me know in the comments what you think of those alloys. I think that looks very reminiscent of the old M3 of the correct era. But you guys can be the judge of that. You can let me know. Somewhere in this car there's supposed to be a fuel tank, and there isn't. So let's go and put a fuel tank in it. They're both exactly the same as far as I can tell. Let's, no, that's for the estate because it's longer, I assume. Let's go for this one and hope that we're right. No. No, it is not this one. So this one must be for the compact version of the car. So that was a waste of a bit of money. It's determined not to sit nicely as well. So we'll grab the other one. We're probably going to need it to stick the car back up on stands as well. Which is fine, I guess. Just like so. And the fuel tank is still attached where we left it. Oh, actually, before we attach this fuel tank, I'll show you guys a little trick that you can do. Take your fuel tank across to the gas station. Take the cap off. And put fuel in the tank before you put it on the car. Then you don't have to worry about pushing the car across the road because there's no fuel in it or playing with the jerry cans. You can fill a fuel tank like this. And the way to tell when a fuel tank is full, there's a little yellow writing at the bottom of the screen there where it says filling will start to flicker. just like so. And put the cap back on there, and that makes the text go away. Let's get this put on the car, tightened up, and we'll move on to the next project for what I've decided is going to be almost a full restoration, or nearly a full restoration. We can also take it off those stands as well. Just like so. And while we're here, you can see the car is now worth $6,000, which is a good bit more than what we've paid for it. It's not enough, but it is a good bit. So the next thing I want to do is, not the pry tool, I want the screwdriver, that's the wrench, that one. I want to fix this back light because it is bothering me. And let's just check if there's any rust as well. We'll take this one out as well because it's actually easier to put bulbs in the car without lights in there. So as you can see, there's no bulbs in this one. So we'll drop that down there. We go to, I believe it's accessories for some light bulbs, and we want the rear lights, which are here. We have that one, we don't have that one. Hopefully they are indeed the same. That's the one I didn't want actually. It does fit though, that's fine. So we've got a spare light. We will put the new one in. This can just exist on a shelf. What's that? Light R, so we want our... The pictures are back to front on them, that's what that is. So to put light bulbs in, seems like a menial task. Take your bulbs and you can get the tick mark. You let go of the bulb, but there's, I believe, 4 bulbs that have to go into each of these backlights. And there's one that went underneath. That one didn't take either, I don't think. Is that the one? Is it only the 3? It's easier with other bulbs because they sort of show you where to put them. With these lights, you just guess, really. I feel like there should be more bulbs. Maybe not. 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom. Yeah. Same with this one. Right, this pack is empty, so through the wall it goes. Now this pack is not empty, so we'll leave that there. Pick up our screwdriver again, and we'll get these installed in the car, which will really fix up the back end. And it gives us a chance to check for any rust back here as well, which there is none. Finding the screws for these is sometimes a little awkward. You just need to find where you can put your head through the car. Like so. And then same on the other side. Although it rejected that light there. There we are. feel like there should be another bulb in there, but seemingly not. So that in itself really brings the back of the car back to life. That weird floating thing we had here seems to be gone as well now, which I'm not going to complain about because I have no idea what that was. This tail light is broken, so we're going to drop that out there. Next thing I'd like to get is back into body, and there is quite a few parts you can get for these BMWs, but we're going to go for more or less standard. Although that M back bumper, I think, is definitely a winner. Yeah, that's quite cool. I like that. Let's grab the spanner and get that bolted on. That's right. With these, I believe it's actually in the top here. The boot seems a little bit out of shape, actually. Don't worry about the clip in there. I'm sure it'll be fine. Nothing to worry about at all, and I don't think we need to put any trim on this bumper. It looks like it has it. So we'll forego that. That definitely looks quite smart indeed. Obviously we have no exhaust, but the exhaust should come out that side. I'm tempted to get these side skirts, which I really shouldn't because of money, but I also really want to. I think I said just a minute ago that I wanted to mostly stock, and then I'm immediately putting a body kit on. I sold that. That was not the plan. We're all selling this one as well then. I did just want to drop all the body panels there, but it's fine, not to worry. And then this side as well. Obviously the car does need painted. We're not at that point just now. But that is looking quite snazzy. We do still have the whole front end to do. That will not be today. But what will be today is, I think it was in accessories, potentially. There's spoilers and all sorts you can get for these cars, which we will maybe do. Maybe it's not in accessories. No, it doesn't seem to be. Here's all of the panels for the actual car. But I'm looking for one in particular. That one right there. Almost $70 for this tiny little panel. It's insulting, but it is required. Now let's have a look here. That takes bolts. Most of them take screws, but this one is bolt-on. There we are. Now that, as long as you look at it like that, is looking rather snazzy, and ignore the paint. Let's have a quick look here. It's now worth nearly $7,000, so we are making a profit. But let's put its face back on. That doesn't look right at all, but it's on. And with that being done, and now that it has back wheels, it's a little bit easier to push, which is never a bad thing. So in fact, I will just push it back this way a little touch. Just that far. I do have the push mod, which would mean I can push things anyway, but I don't need it now that there's back wheels. Let's get the rust off the bodywork of this. And let's just quickly remind ourselves, 2800 with a little bit of rust repair done to it. This is going to be an example of the easy way to make money in this game And we'll probably keep a car that we do this type of restoration to most of the time. But this will be in and out in a day. And we've run out of sand and I've knocked it all over. Last bag of sand. Now, these particular cars, it does help to get inside them and check for any interior rust. Like that. And that door doesn't look too bad for once. And let's check the rust condition now. 5 stars on rust, and it's already worth 4,600, which is really good. Really, really, really good, in fact. And we'll drop that there. Let's take a note of this paint code. I like to write them down because the minute I walk away, I forget. So that's E1C0ED. And I think we'll get 2 cans of paint. So it's E1C0ED. Enter. That's the colour there. 2 cans of paint. And I think this is the first time painting. It's just point and shoot. Really simple. Nothing really to it. It's really that straightforward. You don't need to paint prep as such if you've got no rust. It helps if the car's clean because it helps you see. You don't need to disassemble the car. You just need to kind of pop the paint can into it like I've done there. A little bit on the bottom of this door here. Might get away with doing this with just the 1 can. A little bit on this section here. Across the roof. I do still have my torch on, which is making that roof very bright. And we'll try and jump inside again. We're going to run out of paint in here. Try and get rid of all of this wrong color. And then the area over here that we did a bit of sand blasting on. Does this car have all 4 wheels? It does, and we've actually done that with 1 tin of paint. So let's have a look here. Color condition's only 3, but we are missing a door. All of that. We missed a little bit down here. And over here. There we go, 5 stars. We'll put the paint up on the shelf here. Not that I expect that we're ever going to use it again, but it's always good to keep hold of. I don't like getting rid of paint. Just in the interest of, because I can, I'm going to pump this tire up and see if it'll take air. That is a look. It's absolutely slammed. The suspension must be completely destroyed in this car. But even something as simple as pumping the tires up can get you a good bit of money. Now we have another $6,668 to work on our now pretty bottomed BMW Cabriolet. But that is all I have time for today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, you can of course subscribe. And as always, I will be back with another episode very soon. There's also a link to my Discord in the video description. Until my new controller arrives, the My Garage content will be daily, and my other content, the likes of Motortown, that will return once I have a controller because I tried playing that game with the mouse and keyboard again and it was not fun. So I'm going to wait until I get the controller for that one. But in the meantime, we get to enjoy this lovely game. And going by the analytics of the last episode, you guys seem to not mind this game too terribly much. So as long as you guys are enjoying it, then I'm happy to bring it to the channel. But thank you all very kindly for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.